I spent more than 100 hours with 3 billionaires, and one thing that became very crystal clear with them, which is that they designed their life that becomes very hard to fail. My name is Saif Al-Hakim, the Alpha, and in this video I'm gonna share with you 4 rules that I've learned from these billionaires. And they are not just rules, they're a type of a mindset. If you master them, I promise you, you're gonna dominate any arena or industry that you step your foot in. So let's not waste time, let's get into the rule number 1. Rule number 1 is invest in your skills, not in your comfort. Rich people buy assets, poor people buy liabilities. Billionaires invest in themselves, and then afterwards, these high leverage skills makes them much more money. You have to invest in yourself, and there are 4 skills I'm gonna share with you that they are leverage skills, which means once you know them, once you master them, once you practice them, you will, I would tell you, you will skyrocket your wealth. So let's start with skill number 1, which is sales. If you are unable to sell, you won't be able to succeed, or you will have to depend on somebody else to sell for you. So without sales, you will be stuck, or again, you will have to rely on somebody else to do it for you. And you have to understand that sales is not the tricky game or the tricky practice that a lot of people use. Sales at the end of the day is helping the other person perceive or buy your product or service. So again, it's a help, it's a service. So sales is an absolutely the number 1 skill. And always remember that Steve Jobs was never selling a product. He didn't sell his iPhone, he didn't sell his iPod, he didn't sell his iPad. He sold a life transformation, a tribe. And that was one of his critical skills or high leverage skills that Steve Jobs was using. So let's go now to skill number 2. I want you to network like a billionaire. You need to remember that your relationships or your network is what we call your safety net, and it's your launch pad. And always remember, never I've seen someone who's a standalone success story. So always remember, building your network is always your safety net and your launch pad to anything that you want. I remember back in the days when I used to go to networking events and I get an encounter with somebody and I start to present myself. Hello, my name is Saif, I do ABC. And at that moment or that time, I've noticed that everybody was turning side and talking to somebody else. I was like, what the heck? These people are rude. But one of my mentors told me, Saif, you're handling networking in an absolutely wrong way. You need to be straight. You need to hit the target, which means when you meet someone, my name is Saif, I am doing this to help with that. So the person in front of you right away knows where you can add value right away. So for example, my name is Saif, I do marketing and I help startup with their marketing initiatives. So if that person in front of me has any marketing issue or a marketing task or a marketing project, knows that he can go back to Saif. So you need to be very straightforward in your networking. I am this, doing this, I'm helping with that. So you need to be very clear. And always remember that your network is your net worth. And always remember that you need to add value. At the end of the day, what you bring to the table, that's the power of networking. And let's go to skill number 3, is you need to lead by building people. And why I'm saying this, because the difference between a millionaire and a millionaire focuses so much on systems and process while building his business. A billionaire, on the other side, focuses on developing the people that drives the businesses, not the business again, the businesses. And I want you to think of it as professional sports team. The coach or the leader of the sports team has to develop each and every player to be able to win championships. That's exactly the role of billionaires. Or that's your role, to build the team, develop the team, delegate to the team, and that's the way to lead. One of the quotes that I love from the guru of leadership, which is John Maxwell, he says what? A leader is the one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. That's leadership. With this, let's go to skill number 4, which creating a vision that moves people. Billionaires have clear vision where they want, as if they're living in the future while we all live in the present. So what to do? In order to have this clear vision, it has 2 elements. Number 1, set a super clear goal. And I mean clear. And let's go to the SMART, S-M-A-R-T thing. But you need to have super clear goals. But the second element, which usually misses, which is 100% belief that you're gonna achieve this goal. So one without the other won't work. So to have a clear vision or a big vision that moves people, a clear goal, and 100% belief and certainty that you're gonna be able to achieve that. a lovely quote that I love by Helen Keller that says, "The only thing worse than being blind is having sight, but no vision." These are the 4 high leverage skills you need to learn and implement immediately. Let's go to rule number 2. And rule number 2 tells you, be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. Successful people, billionaires, they don't follow the crowd. They create the crowd. So there is a difference between I'm following a crowd, following a trend, or creating the trend or the crowd. A lot of examples happened and we saw in our lives. For example, let's talk about Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett made a lot of money in the 2008 crisis, financial crisis. While everybody was running away, he was stepping in and buying the shares. And in the end, he was the big winner. So again, let's assume that we are sitting in a room which has 100 people, and suddenly these 100 people want to run out of this room through one door. Imagine 100 people getting out from one door. Successful people and billionaires mindset, they will step back, look overall what's happening, and will try to find an opportunity to go opposite to the crowd. And that's the power again. When things looks hot, you need to stop and ask yourself, is it really worth it? Let's go now to rule number 3, which is diversify your risks. Successful people knows how to diversify the risks, which means you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. But don't get it wrong. That means that billionaires, they want to play it safe. No, they don't want to play it safe. Diversifying your risk doesn't mean you want to play it safe. You're protecting the gains that you've built. And that's the most important thing. You've built something, you've gained some amount of money. It is dumb to go throw it and say like, I'm a risk taker, and throw it on things that is, I don't know, hot, trending or whatever. No, being diversified means you're not playing safe. Again, you're protecting what you've gained, you're protecting what you've built. So let's talk about how usually billionaire thinks about that. Let's say they got a chunk of money. So from this chunk of money, they divide it into 2 parts, 2 chunks, 50% of the money and the other 50% of the money. The first 50% of the money, they put it in safe investments. When I'm talking about index funds, EFTs, these are safe investments. The other 50%, they take it and they put it in high risk, high rewarding investments, like new opportunities, whatever, the crypto, XYZ, or like startups. So always diversify your investments. And again, it is not that you're not a risk taker. You're actually a risk taker, but you're protecting what you've built. And now let's move to the last rule of the 4. So rule number 4 tells you, be long-term greedy and not short-term greedy. Billionaires play the long term. Billionaires, they don't chase quick successes and quick wins. At the end of the day, everybody knows, and it's proven, that success takes time. Once you understand that, and your mindset switch to that, so you will build your success. I mean, even from a relation standpoint, when you go into a transactional relationship, you're not looking under your feet. You're looking much, much more further. You can do things now for free, but at the long term, you understand the gains are much higher. So again, I want you to imagine success, or the win, the final win that you want is like you're having a bamboo tree, or seeding up a bamboo tree, or growing a bamboo tree. It takes time. You need to water it, nurture it. Let me say, like, you have a decision to make today. I want this decision to go back into your thought, and I want you to think that how this decision will affect me 5 years, 10 years down the line. Not even 1 year. 5 years and 10 years down the line. Because again, success is built over a period of time. And if you play the long or the short game, you're gonna lose, because successful people sniff it. So you can't play this with successful and billionaires. Why? Because you need to be in that circle. In order to be a billionaire or a millionaire, you need to be in that circle. And if you are in this kind of circle and you try to play the short-term transactional hit and run, we'll sniff it. So always prepare for the long term. There is a lovely quote by Warren Buffett that says, someone's sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. So always remember, you're playing the long game. There is no short games in business. It's always about the long game. To sum it up, in this video, I shared with you 4 rules that I learned from billionaires, over 100 hours with 3 billionaires. And that's actually not only about the rules, it's about the mindset that you need to start to adapt. And it's not, the rules are closed for billionaires. That's for anyone that wants to take the steps, make the action, and commit for themselves. So the question is this here is not about, are these rules only applicable for billionaires or millionaires? No, it's not. The right question is, are you ready to commit? Are you ready to take the actions? Are you ready to step forward and implement these in your life? And that's the thing I ask you to do it. Because they're simple. It's just a discipline, a mindset to go ahead with these. So implement these 4 rules. And within these 4 rules were 4 leverage skills. Follow them. I promise you, your life will transform. And again, not on a short term. We always play on a long term. Remember this and be an alpha. And I'll see you in the next video.